curiosity. What do you want to know about your role and other curiosities so you can ask him for the other 30 minutes? Okay, so let's start. My first question is, as a governor leader, what kind of human resource do you envision for the youth in Kampong Cham?
Thank you so much. Before I get started to answering the questions, I'd like to introduce myself a little bit.
Yes, sir.
My name is Kosal, and you can call me Kosal. And it's wonderful to be here. And I can't tell you how glad I am to be here. And this is the first time for me to be with the young students, young leaders in Kampong Cham province who I'm proud of. And you are the great resources for the human capital in Kampong Cham province I've ever hoped for in terms of social development. So let me go directly to your question about resources to be hopeful for Kampong Cham province, where I live, and which is beautiful.
Yes,
I think
sir.
not just to me, but to all of you
Yes.
here. And I think you love Kampong Cham province
Yes.
so much, just like I do. You know, the most important asset for social development is human resource. But make sure that we need the resources that are effective, that are potential, that are energetic and strong enough to come up with great ideas, with innovations, with knowledge and education, and especially skills that fit in the globalization era, because today we live in a changing world where you see a lot of things are always changing from time to time so fast, especially the technologies that is always coming to us and change the way we live, the way we work, and the way we think, and the way we communicate with each other. So actually we need a human resource who are strong enough to be hopeful for the progress of the Kampong Cham province for the future. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, sir. And yeah, it's really great to hear that our leaders, our government leaders in Kampong Cham really have a great vision for us youth, and we are grateful to hear that. So let us move on to our the next questions. So as you explained what you envision for youth in Kampong Cham, so I was wonder, how can we youth take part in your vision for Kampong Cham in our very limited capacity? I mean, we are all still dependent on our parents. We still have no jobs and no will. So how can we help the community?
All right. Well, actually, youth is considered the backbone of social development, the most important asset, the most important property for social development, as I said earlier. And well, if you're talking about students who perform your study in high schools or secondary schools or primary schools, of course, in terms of age, I can say that you are young and you still dependent on your parents and your guardians to support you, so that you can afford your education for the time being and for the future. But in fact, in terms of value, youth usually have some of the most effective tools with their spirit so that they can expose to contribute to help their community, their society, especially to all of you in here in Kampong Cham province. You don't have much money because you don't have jobs. And it was simple for dependent youth members across the world. When I was young, when I was dependent, I lived with my parents who worked so hard just to lift up the standard of living so that they could afford their children to pursue their education in the schools until I can come up here with pride that I can talk to all of you and share my experience when I was young about youth to all of you so that we can learn from each other. But what you have, not money, but you have respect, you have love, you have the spirit of helping your community by doing as much sacrifice as you can to your society. You are young and you don't have money, but you can help me a lot if you want. For example, if you come up with a good plan of providing education to those students who are smoking cigarette, which is not good behavior in schools, if you come up to me with a good plan to provide them the education so that they can quit smoking, then I'll show you the money, and then you can use that money to run the business of that planning. So that's it. Or you can volunteer to work in your school. Why don't you ask your director of the schools to work there as a volunteer? So you can do that. And besides that, you have a lot of social works you can perform, you can do, and you can even do it much better than I when I was young. All right?
Yes.
Okay, so thank you.
Well, thank you so much, sir. First, I really thought that being a teenager or youth, I don't have any, the capacity in the society is very limited. So as a youth, I think, I cannot take any job because I'm young. But after you explain it, right now, I think I can find a way, I know a solution if I want to help the community and also want to have earning money in my life. Right now, I think I have a way, and thank you so much.
Well, you don't. Let me explain more a little bit. Just a minute. You think you are young or you're too young, so don't expect the perfect thing. You try for the first time. Nobody's will be perfect when they try something for the first time. But of course, you have to try, because without first time, then there's no first time and there's no second time. So don't think about something big or too big for you.
Okay.
When you work in group to research for something greater than what you experience, for example, you do a scientific research in a group of your friends, maybe a group of 5 friends or 10 friends together for something, and then that's what you can do, and that's what you can contribute to social development. So don't think something which is too big for you. Think about something that is that makes you possible to do for something. So it's time to do something for something. It's not the time to do something for nothing.
Wow, yeah. Thank you for these meaningful answers. Actually, first I'm kind of confused, but after you explain it, I think I'm more clear on it right now. So do something that you are able to do it, that you think can do it. It's not something that over your abilities, something like that. Well, thank you. And my next question is, how to make youth become a good citizens in the future?
Well, I can simply answer the question that if you want to become a good citizen in the future, then be a good student from now.
Yeah.
That's simple.
Yeah.
All right?
Okay. Wow. So that's very short and meaningful.
Or
yeah.
be good children for your parents.
Yes. Are you guys a good children? Yeah. You sure? So far we have discussed a lot about youth and the role of youth. So right now I want to ask you, can you explain us more about social development? What does it mean, and why youth have to take part in it?
It's broad for the term of social development.
Yeah.
For me to give you a precise explanation for within a very short time, but I can say that social development refers to any jobs that people can do to contribute to the progress in the society or in the community. As I said earlier, if you want to be, nothing is, staying as a single thing. Something usually connects from one to another. So if you want to become a doctor, then you can volunteer to work a few months in a private or a public hospital, and then you get to know something about the way to achieving your dream of becoming a doctor in the future. That's what you can do about that. So when you succeed in the society, the nations will also succeed. And that's what we must think about contributing to yourself to greater to the community, so that you can learn from how people in the community think differently, and why people usually need and why their needs are always changing all the times, and what else should be fulfilled to the needs of the people in the community, because people's needs are always changing over times.
Yes.
Now they think they want a good road for their convenient transportation in the community, but a few years later they might complain that the roads are too small, and then they suggest the bigger roads.
Yeah.
And a few years later they would suggest, okay, I want to have some lights along the roads so that it makes me more convenient in traveling back and forth daytimes and nighttime. So social development refers to to the jobs that we do to help people live better life.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's actually true. Actually, people seem to want more and more, and yeah. So now it seems like my question will be my last question right now.
All right, okay.
So, in order to be a good future leader, what skills should youth have?
We have a lot of things to talk about that, but there are a certain number of skills that you guys as young leaders should learn, and to make you successful in the future. We live in times of technology, which changes the world very fast, which is called globalization, where you can see things around the world are interconnected and interdependent from one another. So you need, the world is filled with opportunities and challenges at the same time. So when you've seen the opportunity coming to you, that also means the challenges usually follow. That's why you need to have the some certain numbers of skill that you should learn, like the problem solving skill, because now you study a lot of subjects in your class. You have math, you have science, social study, or other subjects. Those subjects are not just to provide the opportunity for you to learn, just to be able to pass the exams in class, but those subjects also help you broaden your vision, so that you have greater potential and greater ability, capacity to open the bigger eyes to see what challenges may come to you. You study math and science because you need to solve the problems like produce new vaccines for the next virus. Who knows what kind of contagious virus to be coming the next 10 years, next 20 years. So all of the subjects you are learning in the class are really and strongly connected to real life. And those subjects will help you to solve the problems. All right? And you probably need the leadership skill so that you can inspire someone to do something. Not just you want, but all of us want to achieve in the future. All right. And you also, you might also want to, to learn about, innovation, so that you can come up with new ideas. Because now you live in the time of innovation. For those who do not have innovations, usually, later than those who have innovations in their business, so that they become entrepreneurs. You see, the people who have created 5G technologies, because they have their own imagination, they have different idea from the ideas that you normally have, and then they transform that innovation into the opportunities by producing new technologies like 5G, or flying motorbikes in a high cost, so that you can travel faster than before and no traffic jams on road.
Yeah.
Some stuff like that.
Yes. Wow. So you all heard that every subject in our class is very important. It's not just, some of us might say that, oh, why do we learn this? Why do we learn this? What is it for? Actually, it's really important, and it's very essential for our future. Actually, for our jobs, like His Excellency has explained. So right now, it seems like my question has come to an end, and we are the youth, right? So let our voice be heard, and if you have any curiosity, please put your hands up and we will bring you the microphone.
All right. Welcome.
This is like he said, His Excellency has said that the opportunity is right in front of us. So don't waste it. Grab it right now. Okay, Sister
all right.
Lina.
Okay. I think we can use one microphone here.
Yeah.
Thank you for the honor to give me this opportunity to ask you for some questions. In today, I don't have too much question. I just want want you to give us about the program showing skills with your experience because in every all in the society we are really need about the program showing, but sometimes the people around us when has a program and they are run away from you, and can you give about something that you use?
All right, I get what you mean. I get it.
My name is Solina. I am in my grader in the Kosal High School.
All right. Okay. So you study here, right? Okay. Well, I give you another example that I'm doing right now. Recently I have observed that most students have a lot of hours of extra classes. They leave home since 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, so they have to get up very early every morning. No school days, no weekends, no holidays, and it seems like you don't have a rest time in the whole week, in the whole month, or even in the whole year after you graduate from a grade and to another grade. You leave home at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning and come back home at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, or for some people maybe 9 o'clock, I don't know. Do you think this is a problem?
Yes.
You know, it's always good when you make effort for your education. I highly appreciate. And I think you have a lot of energies to pursue your education in search of a successful life after your graduation from high schools to the university. I get that. I know what it's like because when I was a student, I also did that. But now I realize that attitude could be a problem to all of you. It's good for your education, but I don't think you're much happy about that, having no rest time all the week. So you have to find the way to solve the problems, to address the problems you're facing. Education is good, but too much education will cause other detrimental effects. It destroys your health, and it doesn't make you happy, and you don't have social connection with your family. You don't have the other time to relax for yourself. Even you study in schools every day, you have a break time. So you should learn from it. And instead of having too many hours of extra classes, you should take some of the time to do research for yourself with your friends at home or at schools, because now it's easy for all of you to have research documents to help you from the internet or from the book in the library, and you have a lot of sources of information that can help you to become a better student. So as I said earlier, you learn not just to pass the exam, but you learn to succeed the life after you take the exam, after you finish, after you graduate from the school. So I can say that um, having a good grade in your class is not very easy, and you have to try hard. Now I am also having a PhD class, but not graduated yet. So what the schools requires me to do is research. Okay, if I want to write about the topic of community health, then I have to read I have to read a lot of books, at least 100 books or documents, so that I can come up with the outcome of the research, and finally hand it out to the professors. So now it is time for you to do research. All right. Some students having extra class don't really understand what they are taught by the teachers, because too much pressure from your full-time education, and you don't, your brain is also limited. It is not unlimited. So you should make joy to your brain. Feed the brain as you feed the rubbish with the bin. All right? Okay, so thank you.
Thank you, His Excellency. And who else has question? Okay, Sister Panita. Sister Panita.
Since the youth have the important role in social development, so how to educate or build to a youth to be confident enough to participate in social work? Thank you.
Before I take you to the social development journey, I want to tell you some of the important steps that you should learn to win yourself first. If you want to, everything good that you do every day is more or less going to the help of social development. So not just worry about that. Being a good student, being a good daughter or son, good children, that means the part of performance to lead you to become a good citizen for social development. So don't worry about that. But what I want to tell you, what is most important for you to succeed, not just social development, is to learn how to listen to each other among your friends, among the people whom you work with, because we all have different ideas. So it's good if you learn from those who usually disagree with you, and then listening to someone who usually disagree with you is great potential to let you learn and let you move further to the next step. Because some young people expect that they will have the same ideas from the people that they talk with. So they feel, confident that when they come out with the same idea, then it's easy for them to move forward. But as I said, we all different. We usually have different ideas, different perspective, different notions. And those perspective and ideas will come up with a different culture, different strategies of working something. So if you want to succeed in any jobs like social development, you should have the courage. You should be more brave, more courageous. That's the way to learn, and that's the way to win yourself first, so that you can take a further step, a higher step, to let you move forward to whatever you want. Okay? Because we usually fear what somebody is impossible to do, or you yourself think that it was impossible for you to complete. That's why some people just quit that jobs on the way, and then give it up and take another way. This is not a things that you should consider for the choice, the way to come. So what you have to think is based on your courage, knowledge, and your confidence in doing something. Just turn the notion around that. You have to think other way around, that everything is possible. It's always possible to achieve. Anybody can do it, and why can't I do it? So it's good to believe in yourself. It's good to win yourself, and it's good to to let yourself take a higher step, or a next step to become a person you want to be, or to do something you want to contribute.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That question was very interesting, and I really pay attention to that question. I don't know, I pay attention to all the questions, but that one specifically. So who else has questions? Okay, Sister Regina. Okay.
Hello, my name is Regina. I'm from Belarusian International School. So for my question is for those who are studying grade 12, which is the last year, the final years, and the years that we have spent 12 years trying your best to get a result. So do you think that we still have to focusing on reconnect, social reconnecting with your family or your friends? Do you think we still have to connect with them?
Okay. All right, thank you. Well, I just want to turn that question to you. Maybe you probably have some answers already about that. So connection is one of the most important parts in our life. You cannot abandon any connections, except the connection to bad things. All right. I don't think you want to become gangsters, or you want to go violent and fighting somebody in a classroom because they have different ideas from you. I don't expect that. your parents love you so much and they support you all the way. They give you everything in their life just to see you succeed in the future, just to let you achieve the dream you wish. And I don't think you want to abandon your family. You want to take away your parents from your way. Graduating from grade 12 doesn't mean you have to separate your families away from your education or from your future living. Instead, you have to connect it more strongly than ever before. Because, even though you have jobs and you have your own salary, or you pursue your education to a higher, to a tertiary education, the university you want, or the institute you wish, they still look on you because they are curious to see what future you will have. They usually keep their pride and their aspiration on their beloved children. So connection is really important. Let me talk more beyond connections. The role of use for anything, you have to connect yourself to anything that is useful to the society, your community, and your families. You have to connect yourself with all generations. I've seen that some young members, young students, young people, they don't connect themselves with the older generation because they think that the old people do not teach them anything. And you yourself are too proud of what you learned, of what you have, and then you disconnect the generation. And I think this is wrong. So connection is very important. And beyond connection is that you have to empower yourself by imparting your self with knowledge, skills, talent, and the capacity to let you move forward. And then, after you empower yourself, you have to pay the price. You have to contribute what you have and what you learned to somebody else, or to your families, or to the community. You are the outstanding students. Becoming an outstanding student doesn't mean you have to be a serious student alone. Your job is to help those who are slow learners, who are your friends. They don't learn well, and those people, you have to help them. All right. And after you contribute, you have to develop something based on your experience, based on your knowledge or skills of technology or problem solving, as I said earlier. You have to make things for the generations to come, for the benefits to be used in the future, for sustainable development. All right. Okay, so thank you.
Next question. Thank you so much again. Okay. Oh no. Yes.
Yes, hello. To begin with, I would love to give my regard and honor to His Excellency. Yes, and I'm delighted to to get to see your face and face to face. And here,
Now it's time.
I've been wondering why. I've been wondering that are there any alternative factors for youth in order to conduct their own potential as well as discover, as well as discovering it. Yes.
All right. So let me confirm your question. You want to know how youth can expose their potential to do anything, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Certainly.
Okay. All right. I can say to you that first you have to know who you are, right? Knowing yourself is the foundation for growth to your personal development or your business or your career, your education or anything that you're doing. So in order to discover your potential in the inner self, is that you have to understand why you are here, and you have to know exactly what you're doing and why you're doing something, and you need to keep asking questions to yourself every day for the walk of life, so that you can discover anything that you want to know. For example, most people don't even know their own strength and their own weaknesses. They don't know what they are good at or what they are poor at, and they finally come up with making a lot of complaints to themselves, or not just to themselves but to the other people around them, including their parents. Like when you get back home at 8 o'clock after long hours of extra classes, you don't feel well. When you get back home, you feel tired, and then you don't speak to anybody. You disconnect yourself with your family because you get tired, very tired. And then if you know exactly what you're thinking about at that time, and that's the way to discover what you have and what potential can make you become a better student or a better daughter or a better son for the family and a better citizen for the government, for the nation. I have 3 children, and what I usually advise them is to keep them think for themselves, to discover what they have for themselves. And I usually ask them a lot of questions so that they can come up with their ideas. The ideas expresses the answers that they know themselves exactly. For example, okay, what do you think when you're telling me lies? How do you feel at that time? Okay, and the other question, what do you think if you see people throw the rubbish out of the bin? And recently I discussed with my daughter, who is the oldest child in the family. I gave them the example. My wife is here, and yesterday she was in Kampong Sound. She was in Kampong Sound for 2 weeks, away from the children. And in the car the day before yesterday, I talked to her and asked her that in the future you might have a family. And what happened, and what do you think if you live away or if you work away from your family? All right, and then she, came up with a lot of ideas, not so precise because she is too young to answer such a question. But it's good for me to introduce such questions for now, because I never wait until tomorrow. Things that I usually want to do is to begin now. I never hesitate. I never, wait until, tomorrow. I usually, do a few things at the same time. I can brush my teeth while, I can brush my teeth with one of my hands, and I can use another hand to wash my hand with the shampoo. So I can do two things at the same time, and this is the way to, to save time. I don't have much time. We don't know what happens tomorrow for our life. All right. So if you want to discover your potential, you need to keep asking questions about yourself and try to answer all those questions every day, and then take note the answers that you have into your diary, so that you can learn from it day by day. Thank you.
We have 3 questions so far, and yeah, I really hope that you guys, 4, excuse me, sorry. I really hope that so far we all learned and understood what His Excellency is trying to show us. He is paving the way for us because we are the future generations, and the future society is really dependent on us. If it will be the great society, it's because of us. But if something bad happen in the future, it's also because of us, because we are the future generations. So right now we are trying to improve ourselves, learning and doing our best to help the society. So now let's move on to our next question. Thanks. You can be the next one.
What is the disabled youth? What can
Disabled youth.
the community?
All right, I get it. Would you like to ask questions? The next girl. Yeah. Would you like to ask question now, or? Okay. Yeah. Two questions.
First of all, I want to introduce myself. My name is Rhys Panyat. I'm studying in grade 10 in Kosal High School. And my question is that what are the benefits of the youth participation in community society, conduct youth community and help the community?
All right. Okay. Well, thank you. So Suchi, help me remember the questions. All right.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, because my memory is very low right now, but I'm trying. Disabled youth. One of my responsibility as a deputy provincial governor is in charge of disability. Now we're working on this project. It's in terms of physical appearance, we are different. Disabled are different from non-disabled. But what is the same is the opportunity and the right. Disabled people have right to health, right to education, right to work, and right to participation in social development activities. And the government of Cambodia is effortlessly helping out the disabled people, to meet that that goal, that what is given by the government. I am, doing a lot of jobs about disability project with the organization, the Access Project, supported by the Australian Embassy to Cambodia, and UNDP and the other organizations who support the disability project. What I want to tell you is that you need to treat them in the way you want to be treated. You need to respect them. You need to, love them, and you need to provide any assistance as much as you can, just to help them to, to work and to have the same opportunity of education, just like you do, and include them in your teamwork. Don't discourage them so that they can feel hopeless in their life, because they don't want disability to happen on themselves, but they cannot choose the life. But they can, if you help them, they will have greater capacity to make their life as they want. All right? So respect them and treat them as you want to be treated. All right? And the next question is about
benefits of youth participation.
Okay, the benefit of youth participation. As she introduced me for the first, for the beginning of the session, that I am the president of Union of Youth Federation of Cambodia, Kampong Cham Province. So this is the association that gather a lot of young people to work as volunteers to help the community as much as we can. Sometimes we even, contribute our money, our own money, to help the people with disability, the poor, the people with, storms and hurricanes and traffic accidents. We go down to the community to meet them. We talk to them. These are the jobs that we are doing, and we will do more than ever before. But why? The question is why we do that. Why we spend our own money sometimes to help them, and why do we speak to them? When we connect ourselves, to the people in community, that's not just the way we connect, but the way we learn and reconnect and make more progress to ourselves. Because the more we learn from them, because these lessons are not taught in your class. In order to learn the lesson of life from the people in community, you have to go down to the community to learn from them. You learn their culture, and you know why. When you go down to the community, you understand more clearly why these people are, becoming richer, while the nearby one is becoming poorer. All right, and you will get to learn more about how they think, about their children's education in the remote area, for example, when you go there. You know, some parents, my experience when I hosted a public forum with the students in the high school in the district, one student stood up with tear that saying that her parents wanted to stop her from coming to school, from pursuing the education, because they thought that having greater education didn't mean anything. It did not mean the improvement of life in the future. So they rejected their daughter, told her not to come to school anymore because they said they didn't believe in the power of education. So I think you feel that this is the wrong idea, right?
Yeah.
But this is the way we learn from the community. Maybe you don't believe there are those kind of parents. But let's face it, because I met it. I experienced that. All right? And this is the opportunity for you to address the problems when you become the Minister of Education in the future. When you become the district governor, when you become the provincial governor, you will use that experience to solve the problems, a part of a solution to the social problems like that. Okay, you get experience and you learn a lot of life. Yeah, that's kind of fun to learn from the community. All right, thank you. Five more minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Seems like we have to. Oh, unfortunately, the time has come to an end.
I think we have 5.
Oh,
5
His
minutes
Excellency.
more. Okay, just
5 minutes more. One question? A
Oh,
lot of
a lot.
questions.
Okay. It's up to you, moderator. So just one, and then I try to keep short answer.
Yeah. So, what day? Our last question?
Yeah, sorry.
So sorry, you guys. The time is really short.
So, first of all, I would like to pay my respect to Your Excellency, and it's such an honor to have you in here. And yeah, my name is Bate, and I'm studying grade 10. And here today, my question is, for the youth, like the teenagers, do you think that it is enough to learning? Do you think that learning at school is enough or not for the social development? Thank you.
All right. All right. Nothing is enough.
Nothing
Right?
is enough.
If you feel enough, then your life quits. Your life stops. Right. So it's always good to be more ambitious, but not greedy. All right. As I said earlier, besides having many hours of extra class, you should have research activities with your friends, because it's kind of fun, and it's the greatest way to learn something new. I promise, if you do research, you will have something new. You will have new ideas. You will come up with new perspective, and you will turn into a new person with innovation that you feel proud of yourself. I promise, because I usually do research. Before I came here, I've done a lot of research about role of youth for social development, about the perspective of youth, and I found a lot of interesting information that I want to share with you, as I did earlier. So you should do some self research to complement your education in schools, and you should find the ways that makes you more relaxed in helping you to become a better student by gathering information from a lot of sources, because I think it's convenient for use right now, all right, to have this such information to help you out. So thank you so much for your participation in the booster program for English language. This is the first session to be that, so I hope that will be the next, which is smoother and better than this one.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So as you guys can see, our event has come to an end, and I really want to embrace my grateful for you, and it's our honor to having you here today and showing us, telling us, advising us, enlightening and inspiring words for all of us. And so everybody, thank you so much for coming in today, and I really hope that you have learned a lot about social development as a youth, and how can we take part in developing the society as a youth. So lastly, I want to apologize if I made any mistake, because this is my first time emceeing and moderating in an event and in English, and I really hope that you guys can forgive me if I made any mistakes. So thank you so much. And lastly, I want to tell you guys that every day is above ground is a great day. Thank you.